Hey everyone, my name is Kabi, and today will be an unusual case, or rather the rare case, where I'm gonna show you the game of mine, the game where I myself took part in, and there is me in the bottom left corner being the blue light player, and in the top right corner as the red dark player appears Snowy, who is the accomplished player. I've already met him in the past and I lost to him recently, and he also took the 7th to 8th place in the recent Russian community tournament, and that being said, he didn't even lose, but he just had to go, unfortunately, so we had to give him a technical loss, and he also took down Dinah in the previous round, so that's where I realized that probably I'm not gonna make all my daily errands easily here, and rather than focusing on that, I just have to focus on the proper build order and play some convenient strategy that I've already practiced in the past to make sure that I don't just lose the game like badly and don't let my enemy rather make all the errands on me. So the build order I'm doing here is, since this is the big map, I'm doing an economic oriented build. So you can see that even though I made a 14th barracks, I opted to make 10 workers before getting my tier 2, because it is hardly possible that my opponent's gonna successfully rush me on this map, so I go up to 10 workers, tier 2, and then straight to the sawmill or lumber mill, whoever of the light and dark has what, I always forget that, but anyways, I will get a lot of resources that will allow me to make the fast hero and also the fast tech, such as the sanctuary. And in the meantime, I keep producing the swordsman, rallying my first one to the enemy's base to scout what's going on there and what's coming up. And at the same time, I'm gonna fend off the enemy's goon who's starting to harass my worker line and the gold. You probably know that recently we added an option for the workers to pass each other as well as the other units, and most importantly the buildings, not exactly through the buildings, but they use the special dots between the cells to like pass near those, and that's why you will not block your workers anymore with leaving something on their way. And that is why many players now start to make the complete wall-ins, which Snowy is gonna do here in this game later on. You will be able to see how it works. And now, since I scouted that here's going Alchemist, I'm not scouting anymore because I didn't want to draw my attention on the swordsman, so I just moved him to the top left corner, but Snowy also sent his own goon to this place, because this is here the top chest appears. And what about me? I'm getting the princess now, and she will have her active ability ready by the 5th minute mark, but I'm not gonna use the princess on the chest, and rather than that I'm gonna harass his worker line with the princess, and it is a very strong move if you can get into the worker line and use your active ability, the Fan of Arrows, and then just last hit every walker. And back in the base I add the sanctuary to add more healers, and I'm gonna switch to the archers production. Here I get the mana tower, so I just casually expand on the production and technology, not trying to rush anything, like go straight to the 3rd tier and play more like a convenience style. So my princess came, but she can't get in because here you can see the complete wall in, so I can only hit from behind. This still lets me to get a couple of workers, but that's not really enough, to be honest, because I can't take this chest because I'm late here, and I also don't go on the top chest with anything, and that is honestly just a mistake out of me, because I was able to successfully draw the alchemist back to the base, but even though I have more on each the chest, I could go on either of them and I will have more, but I just didn't do that, so that's clearly a mistake of me. But in the meantime, I was able to scout that the opponent's gonna add a couple of aeronauts, and probably then to take up to the Rocketeers or the X-Masters.
Arrows ready.
So he can even mix one with the other.
Healing.
And now Snowy goes down from his base and starting this elemental. I could have also started my own, but the idea I had was to create the center of the map rather than that. Now that I'm looking and I'm seeing what's happening, I come to the conclusion that I could have done both. So I had enough time to create the elemental and then advance to the center, but in the game I didn't find that option, so I just moved out when I thought I'd had enough. And now my princes start fighting because I need those 26 seconds to get this tower built. So I use the fan of arrows to damage all the goons, and now I'm starting the engagement. Obviously Snow will use an active ability as well as the magic blast, perfect combo, but I only lose one archer to that. The other archer was finished off with the aeronauts, but the rest of my army is fine, so overall I think I did a good job. I could have split it better, but overall I still think it's fine, because I'm also getting the mid chest, so the disadvantage that I've been at after the initial chests that my opponent took, that is not existing anymore, and now I'm healing the princess. I should have stolen the mana well, I guess, rather than healing, but I was afraid that he could have had something in the reinforcements, but he's still in a couple of seconds from getting the real units, such as the X-Masters, so I should have fought here, but it didn't felt like that. Probably I decided not to fight because I saw that Alchemist had the ability, I can't really remember. But yeah, that is true that with a good paddle, Alchemist could have done everything I had, so I still didn't think that Snowy is about to advance on the map. And why is that? Because I didn't see any X-Masters in the army, so I thought he will be waiting for those, but the truth was that the first X-Master was already out on the map, so I decided to go for my own chest, but here I decided to rather fight for the mid position, and I want to take down all of this. And this is possible, because the protection scroll is coming way too late. The paddle is not even hitting all of my units, and I'm splitting them, which was done. Well, I guess that is acceptable. And now I'm trying to pursue the alchemist to take him down, and I need my princess to crit, and here comes the crit, and all the upcoming shoots are gonna do tremendous amount of damage, and now princess crits like every single time, and you can see how in 4 shots or so the alchemist is almost down, and alright, so he does. And now the orb tower is ready, and I decided to take it down. Actually, in the game I thought that it was a napalm tower. I think I didn't see the right one, and If I have realized earlier that that was the anti-air tower, probably I should have take down the goblin altar, the goblin left. But I didn't notice that, so I still have a lot of units here, but I spent way too much time on that tower, and now the opponent have a few units. The Rocketer does a lot of damage, and on the other flank the X-Masters also do the great job, and here come the Bomber. I'm very late with my split. I play that not on my usual internet with a 4 milliseconds ping, but on the mobile phone with the worst ping. I can't remember the exact number, but it seems that I felt how the other players play the game, because obviously most of the players don't live in the city where the server is, so most people have at least 30 milliseconds or even higher ping, so they can't really split in advance every single time, so that's pretty much what happened. But also it seems that I'm missing a little bit of the hiring. I'm still way up in the food supply, as you can see, because I'm almost 90 and the Snowy is only 64, so I'm still in the lead, but I'm not really realizing it too good. I'm still on the third castle, but I'm adding the human monuments, so my idea was that I'm not switching right away. I probably have to switch later, but now I wanna creep this position, not really creep, but hold this position with those two towers. Here's a mistake of me, because I didn't leave this worker. I didn't have this worker back, so he just left. I should have built a sawmill, and I'll try to do this later, but I won't be able to repair it, which is a bad execution, honestly. But still, I'm adding more archers, and now I'm supply blocked. And this is the point where I have to upgrade my main building, and that is done fine, I believe, because first I got supply blocked, so I spent all my resources on the army, and once it's ready, I'm getting more. So now I have to give an engagement, because my supply is full and my enemy is probably not full, not maxed out rather. So that is why I'm starting a fight here. So I'm given a circle of fire, and so does Snowy, but I have the healers, so I'm probably fine. A couple of X-Masters go down, and the Orc Chief is about to go down as well. The Descent Split and the 4 healers really do the great job, but it is very hard to engage here, and you know, now that I'm looking on that, probably I shouldn't have engaged here at all. I thought that I won the previous battle so badly that I can just finish the game right now, but now we can see that that was the wrong assumption, because Snowy still has his mana well. I didn't take it from him because he retaken it with a bear walker. Probably I didn't notice that, so I'm just giving away the units for nothing, and I lost a big chunk of the archers, but at the same time I had in mind that I have to switch, and that was a great idea a minute ago, where I was maxed out on the archers and I invested in the tech, and I was waiting for the stack, and I also could have switched to the snipers to reinforce with the snipers, like the better archers, you know, like the better version of the archers, to progress with my army composition. But that's not the case anymore, because I have lost everything, and I killed some, but I don't have the army now. And now that I wait for the snipers, the reinforcing will take like forever. And that's not really a good play, even though I'm getting the huge advantage now that I'm taking all the 3 chests at once. And that is, of course, a huge advantage. So I'm still in advantage, even though my production is that slow, but that lets Snowy to become the leader in the food supply. So now he has 81 and I only have 73 with the units that are not even there, and the princess is not there, and one archer is not there, and the fox rider is not there because she's going to harass the worker line, and the bad ring of fire out of me because I accidentally tapped on the wind mage. So that is the bug that we have to fix, really. But alright, now I've lost one tower, but I thought that probably Snow is gonna pull back, but he's not pulling back, so rather than making the other tower I should have repaired the first one. But anyway, I'm trying to engage, and that is also not a good decision. I had to pull back with everything, letting my buildings to tank to buy time for my healers to retreat in the meantime. But now I'm about to lose all of the units I had, probably. Maybe the princess can run away. And now my fox is coming to harass. Snowy is doing a great job pulling all his workers back, and I wasn't paying attention, so Fox received a lot of damage, and now she's very low. He even decided to fight the fox with the worker. And not a good call, honestly, because one crit and the worker goes down, but I also used the magic blast, but honestly it didn't do any impact because the workers are alive, and the goblin lap will heal them to the full HP very quickly. And now I'm not in the lead anymore because I barely have any units. I have like one wind mage, a couple of snipers, but now I'm starting to think like, well, probably I have to do something because I lost every position on the map. I also lost the mana well, and that's mean that I have to come back to the idea of gaining my own mana well. I couldn't have done that earlier because all of my units were busy holding the center and stealing the other player's mana well, but now I have a bit of time, but not much because Snowy is being very quick with advancing on my position. He's using the all-seeing eye, and probably he thought that my army is here because he saw like a couple of units, and he couldn't have known that it was all the units I had in that position. But I tried to get my snipers back in the base because there's no point for them to stay in that position, and actually I successfully retreat with everything, but I don't have a lot of healers anymore, so they heal now takes a lot of time, but snipers can heal rather quickly. Alright, I have 2 healers it seems. And of course Snowy is not so stupid to try to attack, not as stupid as I was twice in this game, because I was attacking the base, thinking that I am probably about to win straight away, but Snow is not gonna do that. So he just take my mana well, but I have 125, so I can start this fight, and I started with a round of fire, and it gets it deals tremendous amount of damage to the X-Masters, so they all go very low on HP, and my snipers also do a great job. They're not really afraid of the magic damage, so the chief just like disappeared. So you can see what did the snipers do to the chief, and that is why I actually love the snipers. I'm very fond of that unit, but that is true that they're hard to realize sometimes, and you really need to be on top in the position, like you play a turn against turn in StarCraft 2 and or even StarCraft 1. So you really have to be like an upper hand in positioning. In this fight I had the upper hand, so I now have 103 against not even 60, so I'm like almost twice up in supply. So I'm gonna try to block him in the base once again. So again I had like a feeling that my thing worked, you know. Like I won the game with the archers, not really the game, but the engagement. Now I won the engagement with the snipers, so I feel it like my light army works. So like probably everyone are whining for nothing and the light army is still fine, and things like that were going across my mind. So I was like showing how it's supposed to be. And now I'm gonna use a slow push, defending it with the tower and as well as a few melee units, and I seem to be having like a dream army. 6 snipers, a bit of the melee support, as well as the princess as the mobile force, but now she's wasting too much time on the mana well. For nothing. I should have get her in the fight earlier. And now the snipers starting to attack the napalm tower to expose that, and my paladin is supposed to receive damage here. Actually my units all attack the different towers, which is not a great call. I also use the ring of fire, probably not the best position, but there is the mana tower, so I couldn't have placed it better. And well, in the end it appears that everyone but the paladin go down, but paladin still tanking, so snipers still shooting, and once again they do good crits, but Snowy still have 3 drills, as well as the hero, as well as the damage dealers, so I really have to pull my units back, and we're still equal in supply. But one important thing that again I forgot of is the mid chest, but now I again use the ring of fire, and Snowy is gonna lose the 3 expensive units, which is fine for 1 tower, and here sniper obtained the mid chest. Snowy stole the bottom chest with 1 worker, and I still have the archer on this one, so well, actually the bottom chest, it was the 20th minute mark 3 minutes ago, but anyways. Still I lost my army and Snowy lost his, but his drills survived, so I'm not sure if he's gonna repair it. Apparently he is. And we are recreating the armies. I'm still slightly up in supply. I'm adding a few guardsmen. I'm then gonna add more snipers probably, but I also want to add the helicopters this time around, because I noticed that I have hard time dealing with the drills, and the drills also do a lot of damage in melee. So once I go melee with my squad of paladin and a couple of guys along, they really go down when drills are off the underground position to fight. And that's why I wanna like to deal with the drills, and since they are vulnerable to the explosive damage, I'm just trying to get more explosive damage. Meteorite is also explosive damage, by the way. And here you can see how it works against the drill, but now I just want a bit of time with the princess, who was not letting Snowy to get his chest back. And my mana was replenished very quickly, while I had 2, not the chest but the mana wells of course, but now we are 1-1 in mana wells, and I'm also maxed out in the foot again, and I'm having like a dream army probably. 1 healer, a bit of the melee guys, a couple of copters to deal with the drills and a couple of wind mages to prevent the enemy to go mass rocketeers. So that makes sense to me. But what is not working here is that my meteorite is again placed on the wind mage and not on the X-Masters. That's a problem. Also, my helicopters are dead, so they are not doing what they were supposed, what I made them for. I made them to be here, but I didn't micro them, so they just did their things by default, which is to attack the air units, the anti-air units rather. And now the drills just finish me off, and Snow is not even doing the right things. So he could have just ignored the paladin to kill the snipers, and he doesn't do that. So one of the drills was killed, but snipers are not enough. And in this engagement, Snowy obliterating me because I didn't play well, but well, I was just destroyed, like completely washed out with that army. And the only thing that really changed is that the chief was traded for the eater to be even more tanky, and the damage dealers were traded for the drills to be even more tanky. So this army now is extremely tanky, and I just can't deal enough damage, and I die quickly because drills also do the great damage. And the eater probably does not, but I guess I made a mistake trying to focus that one down. So probably I should have focused the drills that are not under the ground. But I wasn't able to micro that properly. And what I'm trying to do now is, well, just to remax, what else can I do? I can't defend my mana well, and I can't really switch to anything. So I'm trying to get a little bit more in the melee. I'm trying to get probably a couple of Warsmith, because they do the splash damage and the drills are always stacked. They fight with the squad. I also got the Baron instead of the Princess to get the explosive damage, to deal the explosive damage to the drills. But now I'm not in position, and this fight is not really well positioned. But well, Meteorite from Snowy didn't do a lot because I was able to retreat, but I just don't have enough, like, overall. He's almost maxed out and I'm far from that, and I can't fight. So you saw the fights when I had a significant lead against the dark player, and he was defending and he was fine with his towers, but to be honest, he had more towers. I only have one. But as a trade, I'm having two heroes. I had two heroes, but it didn't really make change. But well, his army is way more technology, right? So he has the Rocketeers, the Drills, the X-Masters, and when I was assaulting, well, once I had a sniper, but his army is very tier 3 heavy right now, so probably that is why his attack is working way better, even though I'm defending on the base. Or maybe just the dark faction works the other way. So of course after the game I had a feeling like I wasn't really that worse than my opponent, because we both were making the mistakes, but after my mistakes I was punished like harder. But I'm not sure, probably that is just a subjective view, and probably guys after watching this will be feeling it differently. Anyway, it's not a secret that we are gonna buff the light heroes slightly. It just demands a bit of technical rework, so we'll take a little more time. But otherwise, let me know what you think and what you feel after this game. I tried to apply a strategy and use a strategy that I probably gonna use still in the future, but I'll try to do it better, and probably that will make an impact on the result. And I guess that's it for today, so thank you for watching. Make sure to sub to our channel so that you don't miss the further videos, and I'll see you there. My name is Kabi, bye bye.